So, Paolo, first off, do you feel like it was back to sort of your standards and the standards that you expect from the team against Sheffield?
Yeah, very much so. I thought we dominated the game really right from the start. Our territory were massive. We were 70% territory throughout the game, which is huge for a game of rugby league. And we dominated possession as well. As a result of that, I just thought we were way too good. I thought we were perhaps, there's a couple of tries there in the first half from a couple of kicks. There's a little bit of luck involved there, but ultimately, pressure does that to teams, and I thought we put a lot of pressure on, and we were 18-0 up at half time. I thought second half was a complete domination. Really, we were really good with the ball. We built a lot of pressure and scored off a couple of kicks and then a couple of smart plays. And obviously going down to 12 at one point there with Liam Hood going in the bin was a challenge for us. We conceded one try, but I think against one of the best teams in the comp, it was a really good performance from us. Yeah,
you mentioned there that Sheffield obviously sat third in the table, one of the form and better teams in the comp. Do you feel like that was quite a statement performance to put that kind of effort in?
Yeah, I think it was from a standards perspective. I think I spoke to the boys after we played Dewsbury and just thought we weren't where we needed to be, and it had sort of been drifting around that sort of level for a few weeks. And look, in some ways it's slightly understandable. We've got quite a few players missing, especially we've been playing with one recognised half-back. Max is filling in at the moment. Lackland's doing a good job at full-back. But we've been without recognised half-backs for quite a big chunk of the season, whether it's been Gailey or it's been Mason, and obviously Miles being injured. Then that puts a little bit of pressure on fluency-wise, but I thought we were really good from a standards point of view. And it sort of reminds us how good we are as a team, and I'd like us to be more consistent and stay around that level, and that's the challenge for the boys to do just that.
With where we're at in the season, obviously 7 games left in the regular seasons before we get into playoffs. How key is it, and how important is it that you keep that focus within the group?
Yeah, and I think that's been the challenge really after Wembley. We sort of drifted around a little bit, but still winning, and I think that's for players, that's the challenge really. I think keeping focus now should be a little bit easier because the end is in sight. It's been a very long season. There's a lot of games this year, and to have that end in sight almost, it gives players. I think it gives them more of an ability to start chalking off and keeping standards, training well. It has been a marathon, and now we've got this last period now to stay consistent. We know there'll be some decent challenges along the way, but I just think we've got to face up to them by being as good as we can. I don't think there's any place for dropping your standards. I think it's important, both for now, for the end of the season, and where we're going in the future, that we really work hard to be as consistent as we can.
You mentioned challenges, quite a big one this week against Widnes. Luckily we're back at home, but obviously the last time we played them, only won by 2 points. The week after Wembley, not going to be a pushover and an easy task, are they?
Oh no, I mean I've watched the last 3 games. There's a lot of ball movement. They've got some smart players. I think both their halfbacks have been consistent. They've played all year. It's not a luxury that we've had, but they're pretty bedded in with each other. They've got a big pack, and the backs caused us some trouble last time. So they're a good side. They've been pretty good this year, and so we know we need to play well. I think decent challenge for us. We like you say, we played them after Wembley. We bombed a few opportunities early on, and that allowed them. I took Gailey off with maybe 25 minutes left, and I thought it was a little bit early, and we sort of dropped off a little bit after that. So yeah, some lessons from that. We've watched that game back and given boys a little bit of feedback on that, and and we started poorly. You know, they moved the ball and made a line break in their first set. So, look, we're aware of what we need to do. I think, you know, Widnes have been playing a similar way most of the year. You know, I think they've done a good job with what they've got there, and look, I think it doesn't change. It's about us, and it's about us being all those things we've just been talking about, close to our standards. And then, look, we know at this level we're very hard to beat. I just want us to be consistent and a little bit more fluent with the ball, and if we do that, then, you know, we'll be in a good place.
Are we likely to see any of the injured boys back this week, or is it still a few weeks away?
Yeah, well, they sort of start drip feeding back in now over the next few weeks. So Josh Bowden comes back in this week. He obviously had an head knock and missed last week, but he passed that this morning. So he's gone through all that protocol to make sure he's in the right place to play. And yeah, he'll come back in. Jack Croft's available again, so I've got a decision to make there. Who are selecting in the centres. But other than that, you know, Mason Leno's just going through. Obviously, had an operation and he had an issue with his toe. He's just going through the protocols of getting him where he needs to be to get back on the field. Renouf's just round the corner. Koza, I was had 12 weeks out through concussion protocols, potentially available next week after. So, you know, we're starting to see some players coming back. Isaiah Vanganar is not too far away, and perfect timing for us, really. Players who come back in, freshen us up, and that's obviously helpful with how long the season's been.